2 years ago, I had coffee with a guy who owned 17 apartment buildings. He showed up in sneakers with a hole in the left toe. I almost paid for his coffee, then I checked his net worth. $18 million. That hole in his shoe? That's the smartest disguise I've ever seen. Let me ask you something honest. When you think about being rich, what's the first image in your head? Is it a car that costs more than a house? Is it a dinner where the bill is someone's monthly rent? I've asked this question to about 200 people. 90% describe something visible, something loud, something you can photograph. Nobody ever says, a paid-off mortgage and the ability to nap at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. That's the gap. That's the whole problem in one sentence. We've confused wealth with the costume of wealth. Here's what happens when you wear that costume. Ready? First, you spend money you don't have on things you don't need. Second, people notice, not because they admire you, because humans are wired to spot resources. Third, their behavior changes. They ask for favors. They expect you to pay. They treat you like an ATM that also has feelings. Fourth, you're trapped. Because if you stop wearing the costume, people will think you lost it. So you keep spending, keep performing, keep bleeding money on an audience that doesn't actually care about you. That's not wealth. That's a job. A very expensive, exhausting, unpaid job where the only promotion is more debt. The solution is simple. But simple isn't easy. Here's what actually works. You stop performing. You become invisible. You let other people play the game while you quietly own the stadium. I want to introduce you to 3 people. You've walked past versions of them 1,000 times. You just didn't notice. That's the point. Person number 1, let's call her Elena. Elena is a high school teacher. Drives a 10-year-old Subaru with a dent in the passenger door. Packs her lunch in a plastic container that's been microwaved 500 times. Her colleagues think she's struggling. They've tried to start a GoFundMe for her classroom supplies twice. What they don't know is that Elena bought Bitcoin in 2012, sold half in 2021. Her portfolio is larger than the school's annual budget. She still teaches because she loves it, not because she needs the paycheck. That's freedom. That's the whole point. The other teachers, they're driving leased BMWs and complaining about their credit card debt. They look rich. She is rich. Person number 2, let's call him Marcus. Marcus owns a plumbing company. 12 trucks, 30 employees. Does about $4 million a year in revenue. He wears the same stained hoodie every day. His phone screen is cracked. He drives a 2015 work van that smells like pipe glue. Last year, he bought a competitor for cash. $800,000, wire transfer. Didn't even call his accountant first. His employees have no idea. They think he's just getting by. They feel bad for him. That's the secret weapon. When your employees think you're broke, they don't ask for raises. They don't unionize. They just show up and work. Is that manipulative? Maybe. Is it effective? Look at his balance sheet. Person number 3. Let's call him Dr. Patel. Dr. Patel is a cardiologist, makes $700,000 a year, lives in the same 3-bedroom house he bought 20 years ago. His neighbors are surgeons and lawyers who bought McMansions they can barely afford. They have pools they never swim in, 3-car garages with 2 cars. Dr. Patel's daughter just finished medical school. No debt. He paid cash. His neighbor's kids have $200,000 in student loans. Who made the better decision? The guy with the marble countertops or the guy whose daughter will never owe a bank a penny? You know the answer. You just don't want to admit it. Let me explain what's happening inside your brain. Because if you understand this, you win. There's a concept in psychology called social comparison theory. Fancy name, simple meaning. You measure your success by comparing yourself to the people around you. If your neighbor buys a boat, you suddenly want a boat. Not because you like fishing, because you're losing a race you never agreed to enter. Here's the trap. There's always a bigger boat, always a richer neighbor, always someone with a newer watch. You cannot win this game. The game is designed for you to lose. The game is infinite. Your money is finite. The only way to win is to stop playing. Stop comparing. Stop performing. Stop caring what the neighbor thinks. I know that sounds like a motivational poster, but it's actually math. Let me give you a different concept. Hedonic adaptation, another fancy term. It means you get used to things fast. That dream car, after 3 months, it's just the thing that gets you to work. That dream house, after 6 months, you don't even see the high ceilings anymore. You just see the leaky faucet and the mortgage payment. The excitement fades, but the debt stays. The payment stays. The stress stays. The stealth wealthy person understands this. They don't chase the dopamine hit of a new purchase. They chase the quiet satisfaction of not caring. Not caring what people think. Not caring about the boat. Not caring about the neighbor's opinion. That's not laziness. That's freedom dressed in old clothes. Let me ask you a hard question. When was the last time you bought something and the happiness lasted longer than 2 weeks? Be honest, not a vacation, not an experience with people you love, a thing, a possession. Most people can't answer. Because most things don't deliver lasting happiness. They deliver a brief spark. Then you need another spark, then another. Let's do math. Real math. Not the fake math influencers use to sell you courses. 2 people. Same age, same salary. One plays the visibility game. One plays the invisibility game. Visible Victor. 30 years old. Makes $120,000. Victor buys a luxury SUV. $800 a month. Rents a fancy apartment. $2,500 a month. Eats out 5 times a week. Drinks $15 cocktails. Buys designer clothes. Victor's monthly looking rich bill is about $6,000, $72,000 a year. Victor saves nothing. Sometimes negative. He looks wealthy. He's actually broke. Invisible Ivy. Same age. Same salary. $120,000. Ivy drives a 2018 sedan she bought for $16,000 cash 3 years ago. Lives in a modest apartment for $1,300. Cooks at home. Wears normal clothes from normal stores. Ivy's monthly cost of living is about $2,000. She saves the rest. That's roughly $4,500 a month. $54,000 a year. Into investments. After 25 years, Ivy has about $3.8 million. Victor has a 10-year-old luxury car worth $12,000 and a closet full of clothes that don't fit. Same job. Same city, same age, different philosophy, different outcome. That's not luck. That's not inheritance. That's just choosing not to perform for strangers. Now multiply that by 40 years of working. The gap becomes $10 million, $15 million. Every dollar you don't spend on impressing someone is a dollar that works for you while you sleep. That's the math. You can argue with feelings. You can't argue with compound interest. Let's talk about something more painful than math. Relationships. I've watched money destroy friendships. Not because anyone was evil, because money changes the power dynamic. Here's how it happens. You get lucky. A promotion, a business sale, an inheritance. You tell your best friend. You're excited. You want to share. From that moment, something shifts. It's subtle, but it's there. Nobody says anything, but the suspicion lives in every conversation like a low hum you can't turn off. I've seen 30-year friendships die from this. Not because anyone did anything wrong, because money introduced a question that can't be unanswered. Do they like me or my wallet? The stealth approach prevents this question from ever being asked. Nobody knows. Nobody wonders. Nobody changes. Your friends treat you exactly the same because they think you're exactly the same. That's not deception. That's protection. Protection for them and protection for you. Let me tell you about a study. Researchers asked wealthy people their biggest regret. Not investment mistakes, not business failures. Their biggest regret was telling people too early. The second biggest was losing a friendship because of money. You can earn back lost money. You cannot earn back a lost friend who now sees you differently. Let me give you actual rules, not philosophy, not motivation, action steps. Rule 1, the 72-hour rule. Any non-essential purchase over $500, wait 72 hours, 3 full days. If you still want it after 3 days, and you can pay cash, and it doesn't hurt your savings rate, fine, buy it. 80% of the time, you'll forget. That 80% is your wealth. Rule 2, the used car covenant. Never buy a new car. Never. Let someone else eat the depreciation. Buy reliable used cars. Drive them until the repairs cost more than the car. A car's job is to start and stop. That's it. It's not a billboard for your ego. Rule 3, the clothing uniform. Buy multiples of the same thing. Quality basics, no logos, nothing that announces a brand. Nobody who matters cares about your shirt. Anyone who cares about your shirt doesn't matter. Rule 4, the social media blackout. When you buy something nice, do not post it. Not one photo, not one story. Enjoy the thing, not the audience. The moment you post it, you've turned a private pleasure into a public performance. And performances require encores, and encores cost money. Rule 5, the look poor discount. When hiring contractors or buying services, dress down. No fancy watches, no expensive shoes. People charge what they think you can pay. Look like you can't pay much. Watch the prices drop. Let me tell you what freedom actually is, because I think we've been using the wrong definition. Freedom is not a car. Freedom is not a vacation. Freedom is not a house with a pool. Freedom is the ability to wake up on a Wednesday morning and realize you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. That's it. That's the whole thing. The person who cuts their own grass on a Wednesday because they want to, that person is richer than the CEO who can't take a day off. Wealth buys you time. Time buys you choices. Choices buy you peace. Peace is the goal. Not the car, not the watch, not the applause of strangers. Let me leave you with 3 sentences. Just 3. 1. Wealth is what you keep, not what you spend. 2. The only person who needs to know your net worth is you. 3. The quietest person in the room is usually the richest. That's the video. That's the philosophy. Take it or leave it. If you want more of this, uncomfortable truths about money that actually work, hit subscribe. I don't do get rich quick. I do get rich and stay quiet. Here's your comment bait. Answer honestly. What's one thing you've bought just to impress someone else? Not to make yourself happy, to impress someone. I'll go first in the comments. You go second. Get rich. Stay quiet. See you next time.